Hey guys, today we'll be building a mechanical keyboard from individual parts, trying to keep everything budget friendly here. What's more interesting is that I came across fake Holy Panda clones, and I'll go ahead and lube these to see how they stack up to other options. Let's go. So these switches are Holy Panda clones. They even say Inver on the top housing, and the color scheme is close to real Pandas. They're also 3-pins like drop Holy Pandas. They sold for around $33 for 110 switches, much cheaper than real Pandas. It does seem like they're not available anymore on Banggood. Maybe they were hit with a claim given the obvious copy, but you can still find them online on other marketplaces. Okay, editing Simon here. So since I have recorded this voiceover, the switches have been brought back online and are available, this time in packs of 108 instead of 110. Seems like they've removed the Inver logo on top, although a good chunk of the description is straight up copied from Drop's website. Kind of shady. It's also worth noting that a few detailed reviews have been added on the listing, so if you want another opinion than mine, you can have a look there. Now, back to the original voiceover. As for the case in PCB, I have this tenkeyless hot swap keyboard base. It comes pre-assembled with a white plastic case and sells for $65. Seems like a pretty good value for the price, as the PCB also supports 5-pin switches and it comes with stabilizers too. Finally, in terms of keycaps, I am going with EnjoyPBT Cherry Profile keycaps. Now, these aren't budget at all, but I'll link to a more affordable similar set in the description too. These are high quality with a very precise double shot process, and I look forward to using them. So first step is lubing the switches. Got my switch opener just for that. As we can see, the stem and leg profile looks pretty similar to a real Panda switch. Effectively, the housing, stem, and leaf look very similar to a real Panda based on pictures. The top housing really does say Inver. It's also worth noting that the legs were lightly lubed, but that seems common even on Cherry switches. I also came across a few stems that had a missing leg. Maybe something like 7 out of all 110 switches were like that. So yeah, the quality control is fairly low, I would say, and I would discard these switches if possible. So it was a matter of opening all the switches and splitting their components in different bowls, and then I lubed them in batches of 30 with this lube station, which is the cheapest I found online. I also decided to use cheap fake Krytox 205 grease found on AliExpress to keep the budget theme, and this brush actually came with the lube station, again, fairly low quality. So I lubed both tracks of the bottom housings, as well as the cylinder where the spring goes, and then I lubed all 4 sides of the stems. It was my first time lubing switches, and it took a very long time, even though I had most of the tools to make it easier. As for the springs, I had this Krytox 105 GL oil copy, again found on AliExpress, dropped a bit in a Ziploc bag with all the springs, and then we were good. I actually followed BT's tutorial for that, so thanks man. So I did all switches like that and then reassembled them. Before going further with the build, here's a sound test comparing these fake Holy Panda switches to a bunch of other tactile switches. Since this board is hot swap, it was pretty simple to complete the build. I installed all of the lube switches in there simply by pushing down, making sure pins were in bent. I think it looks pretty good with the white plate, white case, and pale switch housings. And then it was just a matter of installing the keycaps. This PCB has a fully standard NC layout, so it was pretty straightforward to install them, and you wouldn't need a set that accommodates for odd layouts. So looking closer at this build, the case is entirely plastic and is supposedly ABS and comes from the Zelios factory, whatever that means. The surface feels pretty good with a semi-matte finish. It's a 2-part case design and unfortunately squeaks a bit. I'm pretty sure you can split them apart, and from the way they move, they seem to be just clipped together. Not the best feeling, but it's alright. At the bottom, there are rubber pads and a pair of flip-out feet. These feet also have rubberized tips to ensure the keyboard doesn't move around. It features a USB-C port, although it's hidden under the keyboard, and then the cable is routed on either sides or simply goes out in the middle. I don't believe it'll be compatible with many third-party cables given the location of the port. It's also worth noting that the switches on this board are north-facing, even though some of the pictures on the products page are confusing, as sometimes the sockets are north-facing and other times they seem south-facing. For the price of this case, PCB and stabilizer combo, it's pretty hard to complain. Now to the keycaps, these are EnjoyPBT keycaps. Again, not very budget friendly, but the quality is great. Legends are double shot and the quality of this process is pretty much flawless. Closed shape characters don't have slits, legends are straight and consistent across all keys. They look and feel very nice. One thing that's unique with this set is that instead of a notch for the F and J keys, they simply have a deeper dish to easily locate them without looking. It works well and it's easy to tell the difference with other keys. Now to these switches, for the price, I believe they are great. Lubing them does help, although I would recommend using real Krytox or Tribosys lube, as it didn't make that big of a difference in my opinion. While they sounded a bit better than stock Novel Keys Blueberries and Glorious Pandas, I would rather go with Everglide Oreo switches instead, as I think these sounded better, even stock compared against these Lube Fake Pandas. I would say they feel quite nice overall. They are heavier than Cherry or Gatoron Browns and more tactile as well, although that's not very hard to beat. The tactile bump has no pre-travel and they actuate pretty much midway, where they stop and require a bit more force to fully bottom out. The only thing is that even lubed, I feel like they're not super smooth. I mean, they're not scratchy, but it feels like the force required to make them move down is a bit hard to predict, as if they were a bit sticky in their housing. Maybe that's related to the cheap grease I used to lube them, but even the stock ones felt like that, so I don't know. I still prefer them over any budget tactile switch, especially unlubed switches, but you can definitely get better switches out there. There is also the ethical issue with these switches. I mean, these are simply lower quality counterfeit versions of Holy Pandas, and they're trying to profit by copying a more expensive and well appreciated switch. For this reason alone, I don't recommend that you buy them, as it's encouraging theft, and it's not like you're actually getting high quality switches on the cheap or like real Pandas. These are fairly low quality and the quality control is far from perfect. Finally, the built-in stabilizers weren't factory lubed, so I did it myself with some of that fake 205 grease, and it did improve the rattling, although there is still room for improvement. I haven't fully disassembled them to do so either. This keyboard also features RGB LEDs with a bunch of pre-built animations. Function plus navigation keys go through all the available animations. These seem to be grouped by categories of animations that are similar. The lights are fairly vibrant, I would say, and that's with switches that don't have a clear housing, so it's pretty impressive. You can also change the color with function plus right arrow, although I feel like the selection is very limited. And you can also adjust the brightness with function plus up and down arrow keys. No manual nor instructions were provided, and the box has some of the key combos, although they're not in English, so I'm a bit clueless in regards to other light capabilities. This keyboard is also supposedly reprogrammable, apart from the FN key as per the product's description, but I haven't found a link to any software that would allow that. Maybe it's reprogrammable on board. There are definitely other controls available listed on the box, but I'm not too sure what they're meant for. If someone knows how to reprogram this board, please leave a comment down below. So in conclusion, I like this tenkeyless PCB and case combo. While I'm not sure if it can be reprogrammed, just the fact that you get a hot swap board with 5-pin switch support, a variety of RGB animations, and a decent case for $65 seems like a good deal. One con I can say is that for some reason, my Mac won't go to sleep when this keyboard is connected. Whenever I unplug it, then it's fine. It's really annoying, and it's something that would make me use a different keyboard altogether on my Mac. then those fake Panda switches are pretty good considering the price, even a bit better after lubing them. However, I don't recommend you buy them as they are a counterfeit product and they negatively impact mechanical product creators out there. I will leave a link down below if you want to check them out, but it won't be an affiliate link so that I don't benefit from the sale of this product. And finally, those ePBT or EnjoyPBT keycaps are really nice. Although they're not budget friendly, I can definitely recommend them as a durable keycap set that feels great and the double shot process looks very nice. I don't have a GMK set on hand, still waiting on a group buy, so I cannot compare, but these are great for sure. So that wraps it up for today. As always, I'll have affiliate links to most of the parts and tools I used in this video. Feel free to use them if you're interested and want to support the channel at the same time. So thanks for watching, make sure you leave a like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, as I'll see you in a future video.